Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be reacting to Jared Harper, the new addition to the New York Knicks. So, hope you guys enjoy. Let's get right into the video.
As I was editing stuff around in my channel yesterday, I started to get notifications from Knicks fans like crazy under my old video about Jared Harper. And as a massive fan of Jared Harper, I immediately ran to Twitter to see if the news was true,
Oh, I'm
and
a
as
big
we all
fan.
know by now, it was. I followed Jared Harper's game since he came in as a freshman for Auburn, and I knew around the end of his sophomore season that if he got a shot at the next level, it was just going to be a matter of time until he proved he belonged in the NBA. He got an opportunity to play for the Suns Summer League team, and he absolutely went off. He played good enough to get a two-way contract for the team, but Jared really never got out of the G League.
Yeah.
I was waiting to see the moment they called him up, because selfishly, I just wanted to see a Harper and Booker backcourt together. But even though he didn't really get to play for the Suns at all, he got consistent run in the G League, and as the point guard, he took over that team. He was breaking G League records, playing consistent on the offensive end as a scorer and playmaker, and even found ways to force turnovers on defense the way he did in the Summer League. Jared Harper has everything it takes to be a solid point guard in the NBA. But the one thing he doesn't have that is consistently used against him is his height. And even though he plays much bigger than his listed height, that's the one thing that can't be fixed no matter how hard you work. But at the end of the day, all it took was one team in the Suns to not only give him a chance to prove himself, but prove what he could do in the G League. And because of them, it allowed Jared Harper to get picked up by his newest team, and that's the New York Knicks.
I'm excited to see what he can do for us.
I could talk about Jared Harper as a point guard all day. Since his freshman year at Auburn, his skill set, his leadership, and more than anything else, his confidence grew with each passing season. When he led that Auburn team to a Final Four run with guys like Chuma Okeke and Bryce Brown, he elevated his game more than any other player on either side of the floor.
Yeah, that was a good run that they had.
That was without question. Now, the injury to Chuma Okeke, the eventual first-round draft pick by the Orlando Magic, it hurt the team as they got to the end of the tournament, but it doesn't change the fact that Harper grew into the alpha on a senior-led roster. Jared came straight out of college as a junior to enter the NBA draft. And even though he went undrafted, it was the right move. As a college basketball player, Jared Harper had nothing left to prove. And as I said, he had great runs in the Summer League that led to an opportunity in the G League, and that's where we got to see Harper's game consistently develop.
Look at those shots, how deep they are.
He had this past season is the sole reason the Knicks are taking a chance on Harper, and it's easy to see why. Jared Harper showed off every aspect of his game last year, and it all starts with what Harper does best, and that's scoring. I try to stay organized as best as I can in these videos, because when I talk about a player, I tend to jump from point A to point Q. So let's stay on track, and let's talk about his perimeter shooting as the primary ball handler.
Okay.
Jared Harper has that point guard trait that you see in a majority of smaller guys at his position, and that's creating space in the blink of an eye. Harper has a size-up move that reminds me a lot of Damian Lillard, and it's by far his favorite move. We talk about guys like Westbrook and De'Aaron Fox who have absolutely insane straight-line speed, but what Harper has is an incredible first step, and it buckles defenders' knees on a nightly basis. He can stop on a dime and immediately burst into top speed with the ball, and that's the biggest reason why he can get wherever he wants on the court. This paired along with his unbelievable range is why it's so hard to guard him one-on-one in an isolation possession. The other part of his perimeter game that I'm going to talk about is his spot-up shooting on the perimeter. Jared Harper became so efficient at this because of the offense he played in during college. A lot of players didn't have the spacing and perimeter shooting as Harper did on that Auburn team. It allowed him to develop into a shooter in a ball reversal role, even as a ball-dominant point guard as he is. Jared Harper is a great playmaker, and even when he makes an initial pass, his first move is to always set up on the perimeter, waiting for that extra pass from the hockey assist that he just threw. This is something I'd like to see with the young backcourt the New York Knicks have, because Harper has the potential to be a space creator for a team that currently struggles with spacing. His perimeter shooting can benefit the Knicks team in any rotation, but the other aspect of his game is his scoring off the dribble.
Yes, I can see that.
Harper is so quick and crafty with the ball that he's able to break down defenders with ease.
Look at that
His
lob.
perimeter
Boom.
shooting is another reason why he's able to keep defenders out of their rhythm, and as the playmaker he is, he's smart with how he throws and baits off defenders. He's extremely athletic as an undersized point guard, and sort of like Ty Lawson when he played for the Denver Nuggets, he can elevate
is
to the
freaking
rim
fast.
extremely fast off the drive. Jared Harper's scoring is something that's always been there for him, and it's hard to look back and remember a moment where he struggled at scoring. And the same thing goes for him as a playmaker. We've already talked about how Jared Harper is crafty, but he's extremely smart with the ball, and it gets shown a lot in the pick and roll.
He is so fast.
As a playmaker and a scorer, Jared Harper's game in the pick and roll is a massively undervalued part of his game, and it didn't get shown a lot in the G League due to the lack of paint players that team had. All I can think of is Jared Harper in a pick and roll situation with Mitchell Robinson, who's built just a little different than the rest of these guys on this Knicks team. I say it a lot when I talk about Harper, but he has so many little tendencies that remind me of Damian Lillard that it's crazy. He sets up so
Nice
deep
shot.
as a shooter that it allows the big to get in good positions for the screen and roll and be ready for the pass if the rim protector helped off of the center. I can't wait to see this in action next season because in my head, it's a match made in heaven. He's also just great as a playmaker simply because he can make things happen out of nothing.
Almost 6
And he's
assists
done it
as
a
well.
lot in his basketball career. Whether it's ball reversals,
Him and
cross-court
Ignace were
passes,
destroying the G
playmaking in
League.
transition, he's just got an eye as a playmaker, and it's the perfect complement to him as a scorer. A lot of what he does playmaking is a great trait to have next to another young guard in RJ Barrett, who looks to be the main priority for this team as they head into the draft and next season. And the final part of his game that I want to talk about is his defense. Harper's defense gets undervalued because of his height, but that's the case for all small guards in the NBA. Harper's body positioning on defense is just as good as it is on offense, and it shows in a variety of ways. First off is how he consistently forces turnovers from charges drawn. Jared Harper is the charge king, but he draws more charges on the perimeter than he does in the paint. I talked about his quickness earlier, but you see it in this part of his game more than anywhere else. He can consistently get to a spot on the court before the ball handler, and I've seen him do it so many times that it's impossible to count. He's also great as an on-ball defender on defense.
Look at him go. Look, he just freaking ran the
amount
court.
he struggles in shot contests, he's great at ripping the ball away from ball handlers and preventing shots from occurring before the player can even make a move. He's quick with his hands, and it also helps him force a ton of turnovers through this method of defense. And the final
Excellent.
part of his defense
Good
that
at D
I
as
want to
well.
talk about is how he plays defense in the passing lane.
Good defense
This
as well.
is something that a majority of quick guards excel at, and Harper happens to be one of those guys. If there's anything to know about Jared Harper on defense, it's that he excels at defending a play before it happens more than he does as it's happening. He's such a smart player on both ends, and it shows in this aspect of his game just as it does anywhere else. I'm excited for Jared to get a run with this young team like the Knicks, and this deal has a real shot at working out for both sides.
I'm excited.
This team is still desperately trying to find an identity to build around, and Harper is trying to find his fit in the NBA. It's been a long journey for Jared Harper from Pebblebrook, Georgia, to now his new opportunity in New York. But it looks like he's finally found a place that he can excel with, as the Knicks are already looking forward to preparing for next season.
Seems like a good pickup for us. I mean, seems like a match made in heaven. It's like the guy said. I mean, he looks pretty freaking fast, and he's good at stealing the ball. He's small, so he's tough for you blocking, but still, I mean, looks like a good pickup for us. So, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and peace out.